We are here in Los Angeles at the Dream Hotel for Sujit from SKAM Artist's birthday. We're gonna go up to his room right now and talk to him about why does he do this crazy birthday party every year. This weekend is gonna be bigger and better than any of the others, and let's go.
Murder on the beat.
The 22nd annual birthday party.
Yeah.
And this one, definitely the biggest to date.
Correct.
2 days, Dream Hotel.
Never done 2 days before.
Yeah. I went to the one, Vandal last year, Tal the year before. You did Tao a couple of years.
I did Tao 2 years.
Yeah.
I usually don't try to repeat.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
every year, new venue, new...
Every year I try to do a new venue.
So how are we going to top this one?
You know what's crazy is when I was at 40, like, Tao in New York was just so pretty. And, like, the setup and the Dream was right next to it. And I was like, this is it. I'm not going to do anymore after this. And, you know, Tao Group talked me into Vandal at 41, which 41, I wasn't really into it. But 41 was actually supposed to be here.
Okay.
This hotel was supposed to be open. And in like March, they were like, we think we're gonna not open in like September or October, so we don't think you're gonna be able to do it this year, so just do Vandal, and we'll do your birthday here next year. So this hotel was supposed to open in January. And then, you know, as we kept going, it wasn't opening in January, it wasn't opening in February, it wasn't opening in March. I did my deal with the hotel in like the beginning of February. Okay. I was trying to do it last year, and they're like, we don't even have a reservation system in place, like we're not ready to do this. So like February, I did my deal with the hotel, and they were like, I think they opened like the restaurants at the end of January, and they were like, you know, we're gonna open in February, we're gonna open in March, and for purely selfish reasons, every time they pushed the opening back, I was excited because it's a brand new hotel. Yeah. So they actually opened like a month ago, and I was like, a month gives them enough time to work out the kinks. Yeah. And I mean, I honestly don't know. Like the setup here, where the restaurants are at, the roof pool. I mean, everyone's been so accommodating. I mean, I know who's here, and it's a great group of people. So, I mean, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, man. Every year you pull in like L.A., New York, Miami, Toronto, Montreal, Vegas. Like you get all the nightlife players from North America flying in for your birthday.
See, it's getting a little harder now because I'm turning 42, and my generation of people are starting to get married, they're starting to have kids, and they're starting to move from the box where they used to go out 5-6 nights a week to, you know, soccer with their kids on Sunday is more important. So like getting those people out here, you know, becomes more and more challenging every year. But my feeling is that, you know, I feel like we're in nightlife because it's entertainment, and I feel like people have stopped having fun, and you know, a lot of the business has become kind of cookie cutter. Sure. And it's repetitive, and you know, technology's made the world a smaller place. So where something might have been unique to one area, if it works in one area, there's 50 people copying it 3 seconds later. So I always try to do my birthday party where, you know, I'm not trying to exploit anyone, I'm not trying to get anyone to do me any favors, I'm just trying to have fun, and you know, I'm trying to keep the party alive.
Yeah. So why do you do it? Because you put so much of your personal time and energy into it. Like we were saying before, I come because you call me, you text me, you email me. Like, I'm coming because I know it means something to you to have your friends here. But I mean, it's a massive investment. I love the branding. Like, SKAM Artist is everywhere. Like, why do you do this party every year?
I feel like when I turned 21, I don't feel like I was a promoter. So I threw parties. So again, it was always about like, I was always trying to come up with something that somebody else wasn't doing. So, I mean, it's somebody's birthday at Avenue every other day. Yeah. Every day. There's 5 people's birthdays. So there's celebrate my birthday at Avenue, I got a table, and I'm doing this. So when I did my 21st birthday, I didn't even have SKAM then. SKAM didn't even exist. I didn't even represent DJs. I was in college, but I was just a promoter. And so, you know, as I got older and it developed, I turned it into more of a branding play. But again, it was about getting people together, and it was about having fun, because at the end of the day, we're so fortunate with what we do that we can make a living. That, you know, like you made a comment before that, you know, here on my birthday, I'm sitting in my room working. am I really working? Like, just because I have my laptop out and I'm working on a guest list, like somebody's washing dishes somewhere, somebody's emptying the trash somewhere, somebody's cleaning a toilet somewhere, like, somebody probably can't even feed their family right now. So like, I don't take any of this for granted, and I love bringing everyone together. And I think 2 days is actually a little better, because when I do one night, people are like, "Oh yeah, so I get to come to your birthday and see you for 30 seconds, and then you're on your phone the rest of the night." And so this year, like I made it a point to come to the hotel this morning. I've been at the hotel all day. I've been seeing everyone, and it's been fun.
For sure, yeah. And then I get that, because I remember last year, even the year before, it's like, "Hey, Sujit, what's up?" And then people are mobbing you for photos and stuff. And but I get it. It's
and I think I do my birthday because as a kid, having an August birthday, everybody's on vacation. You're out of school. Yeah. Like, my birthday comes up and nobody's around. Everybody's with their family. There's no party. We're not having cupcakes in class. Yeah. Like, everyone's gone. So like,
and now people get to make this a vacation and come in and see you here. Like, I flew in just for your birthday. Like, I'm here in Los Angeles for these days. I mean, I'm gonna make it a fun work trip out of it too. But like, I came out because of your birthday. So thank you for that.
And I usually try to do it. I usually try to do it at a client's establishment. Sure. Yeah. So like, like I did it at One Oak one year. I did it at STK one year. I did it at Abe and Arthur one year. So people that support my agency all year round, I try to put it back. Yeah. And Tao Group has been great to me since the beginning. So here we are.
Yeah. Now, SKAM Artist, because we've worked together over years, booking a bunch of your talent. But when did SKAM Artist actually start? Because you were a promoter for many years, and then you transitioned over to the talent side, agent side, management.
So when I was in college, I threw parties, and then towards the end, I started managing. Or it was like I started booking DJs, and it was kind of like a mess. It was like DJs. My DJs were making $200 a night, so the commission on that's $30. Like, it was more of like an added value to being a promoter, to have the DJs be the DJs. And then, at the time I had a partner, and he was the program director at Power 106. He was actually the music director at Power 106. And so I started to do record promotion, and back then you had to deliver records to clubs. You had to go club to club. I got paid money to go club to club to give the DJs records to make sure they were playing the new music so people could sell their music. So it all just started kind of meshing together. And then, somewhere around 12 or 13 years ago, me and my partner got into a fight or whatever, and he kept half of his company and I kept the booking side. So it was like 10. And then I told my buddy, his name's Gumby, I was like, "Yo, I need your help. I need you to come up with a name." And he was like, for my company. And I'm like, I need you to spend some time on this, because you could be naming the next Sony or the next, Nike or what have you be. And so like 2 weeks later, he came back to me and he's like, "I got it." And I was at the Hollywood Athletic Club. I remember like it was yesterday. And he's like, "SKAM Artist." And I was like, "Man." And he's like, no. He's like, "But with a K." And he's like, "Sujit Kundu Artist Management." Oh, damn. And I was like, I'm like, "I don't know that, Pepsi's going to be down to write a check to SKAM Artist." Yeah. And he was like, "Man, there's Murder Inc., there's Death Row, there's Bad Boy." Yeah. He's like, "What's your problem? It's cool." Yeah. He's like, "It's cool." And I'm like, "Let me think about it." So at the time, I only had like 6 or 7 DJs, and I asked him, and like half of them felt the way I did, and the other half were like, "Cool, you should do it." Yeah. And so he came back to me like a week later, and he's like, "No, but you got to picture this." And he's like, "You got to picture, like, say you have DJ Vice, right?" And he's like, "DJ Vice on the front of the T-shirt, and on the back it just says, 'I am a SKAM artist.' And I'm a SKAM artist." And I was like, "Yo, I'm in." Yeah, I'm in. So for several years, I was branding, "I'm a SKAM artist, I'm a SKAM artist, I'm a SKAM artist."
Yeah. So who did you start with way back then? Has Vice been with you that long?
Vice was second. Okay. He's not with me anymore, but E-Man was actually the first DJ. Okay. And he's not with me anymore because, like I said, I do record promotion, and it became a conflict. Okay. Because he still works at the radio station, so we had to part ways a while ago. But as we moved up in our corporate jobs, we had to keep it all ethical.
And how many artists on your roster now?
I have no idea. Over 100.
Wow. And some of the notables, obviously, Jermaine Dupri, Little John.
Jermaine's not with me no more. But Little John, we branched out now. We actually do hosts too. We were at Amber Rose, Black China, Quincy, Cassie. Trying to be more of a full service agency. But yeah, like you said, Irie, Little John, Nick Cannon, Swiss Beats, Samantha Ronson, Eric Deluxe.
Lots of heavy hitters, that's awesome. And so, obviously last 5-10 years, a lot of changes with house making such a big change, revolution in Vegas. It went from Vegas being hip hop. Vegas and LA were all hip hop, and then the EDM and the house took over, and now it seems like things are swinging back the other way. You feel that?
So what people don't realize about me is that I actually, the parties I used to throw were raves, and I actually started in dance music, and when I was like 21, I used to tour manage Bad Boy Bill and Richard Humpty Vision. They used to do this House Connection tour, and people don't realize I actually came from that scene. But, you know, the scene took a shit, and I didn't know anything about hip-hop, and so I just adapted. I was a promoter, and I just adapted, and I started doing, I didn't know what I was doing. It just hip-hop emerged, and, like, we were just figuring it out, and nobody knew what was what, and it just kind of, like, happened. But, like, you know, I always tell people, you know, you can't try to do what other people do. You got to do what you do, and then if it's your time, it's your time. Yeah. So, you know, it's funny when that house music explosion did, all these hip-hop DJs started playing house music. Yeah. But they weren't, that's not, they don't know it. They don't know the culture. They don't know the vibe. They don't have the investment in it. So it's the same thing. Now you got DJs that play house music that are like, I can play hip-hop, but you don't know the culture. You're not invested in it, right? So you're not, you know, like, it is what it is. I mean, look, people, you know, I know when I first started the agency, I was very picky about who I signed, but, you know, as I get older, I realize that, you know, it's different strokes for different folks. So somebody likes something for everyone, you know. Different DJs fit different situations, and, you know, you can be successful and different.
Sure. Yeah, there's a niche and an audience for everybody, right? And who are some of your favorite DJs on your roster that you like to make it out to see? I know you don't go out that often. And
dude, honestly, I've never been about, like, I never go to see my DJs for that. Like, if we go to party.
So you're now branched off into guest host appearances, whatnot. Where else do you see SKAM Artist evolving
I want to be on CAA's neck, right? Okay. So, you know, but, like, I always said that I wanted to make SKAM, like, you know, the Nike of DJs per se, right? So, like, you know, when you talk about it, like, the branding, like, there's a reputation that I want with it, and, you know, I want people to, when they see that logo, to have a certain, like, you know, like, I'd love to have headphones in Walmart. Sure. You know, like, I want kids to, like, grow up and be like, hey, I want to be. That's funny. Like, I mentioned that, you know, my boys are all having kids. I made onesies. Yeah. That say Future amazing. SKAM Artist.
That's awesome.
And they say Future SKAM Artist. Yeah. I made, like, baby hoodies. Like, I want it to be cultural so that the kids, when they come up, they're like, they strive for that.
Yeah. I mean, you do merchandise. I know you do your giveaway and your swag sometimes, but you ever thought about doing, like, a retail merch line?
I'm trying.
Okay.
That just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is right now, I'm very 1%, 0.001% of the world, and it's not mass market yet. Right. So it's not like like I said, I think you just keep at it, and one day, hopefully, it just hits.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you have the DJ talent with the exposure. You got the venues. You got your celebrity relationships. I'm sure if you put together some stylish, you definitely get the exposure from it. That's for sure. Yeah. So, you know, like you said, DJs, young guys coming up, young girls coming up, they want to be a DJ. It's a bit saturated right now. Obviously, everybody with a laptop and.
Well, the thing is that you just have a. It's not just DJing; it's the world, right? So, you know, the world's changing. So what was, you know, standard 10 years ago isn't standard now. You know, 10 years ago I took a cab to the airport for $50. Now I'll take a Lyft for 16. Sure. And just the way we consume things is different. So, you know, before, like I mentioned, DJs I'd have to go place to place delivering records. Yeah. Now you play it here. Somebody in Japan has it 3 seconds later via the internet. Yeah. It's like the technology's changed. So what's required of a DJ, and it's evolving, and, you know, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because with obviously these apps and mixing software and AI coming up real quick, you ever think the DJ will be obsolete, or do you think the club or the party's always going to need a human up there putting it together?
That's a tough call. I mean, I couldn't even venture to say that, because, you know, I remember when Serato came out and everybody was like, I'm never going to use that, and then now it's like commonplace. So I wouldn't. Who knows? But I mean, it's like there's a reason I do my party the way I do it, and, you know, there's a reason I personally invite people and I come on my own and I do all that stuff, is because, you know, I think it needs to happen. And so, you know, I think if a DJ, the DJ's meant to, you know, he's meant to see the crowd and change and adjust. And, you know, I think, you know, people people want to hang out and they want to talk to them, and you know, it's a vibe. It's a part of the party, right? Like the same way as, you know, back in the day, a flyer was a part of the party.
Exactly.
You know, if you made a cool flyer, like, people were excited to go to your event. You know,
Sure.
or a drink or a smart water or something like that. So that's what, like, I'm trying to keep the creativity alive.
Sure. Yeah, and a lot of these DJs, they are celebrities in their own right. They've got their, whether it be their brand, their costume, their giveaways, their swags, you know, they create an experience around not just their music, it's their persona and the vibe that they put out to people. And that's always cool to see when somebody, you know, I mean, it gets a little ridiculous with like mouse heads and, you know, marshmallow heads and all, I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff now, but I guess that's just keep pushing the boundaries, right?
Exactly.
So what advice would you give a young guy or young girl who wants to break out? They want to be a SKAM artist one day. How do they go from not being a DJ to getting on the SKAM Artist roster? What advice or what would you tell them?
You have to put in work. There's no shortcuts. So people think that if they're on SKAM that all of a sudden their calendar is going to be busy. Like, you know, you have to go out and do the work. You have to do the, you know, put effort into it. You know, like, you know, people get what you put into it. And so, you know, like, this party is 2 days, but I've been working on it for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, granted, the intensity of how much I've been spending time on it increases as we get closer. But, you know, like, you gotta, if you're a DJ, you gotta get in the studio, hang out, like, pay dues. Like, you're not entitled to anything. So, you know, you have to earn every last step of it. And, you know, just because you've done it for a year doesn't mean that you've accomplished anything. You know, people always tell me, they're like, you know, congratulations on all your success. I'm like, success? What success? I went to Zark's house. That thing's huge. Like, I'm in his guest bedroom. Like I can't, like, define success. This isn't Rock Nation. Give me the Rock Nation, and then you can start patting me on my back, right? Like,
social media obviously has changed so much with the whole nightlife, DJ, celebrity world. I mean, people that aren't even celebrities or celebrities because they got big accounts. How important or significant is it for a DJ to have a strong social media following and presence?
You know, honestly, I think that nightlife owners put more emphasis on that than needs to be, because you don't know where your followers are. You don't know if your followers are 12. You don't know if your followers are 18. You don't know if your followers are, you know, they're always sweating us to post a flyer, but 90% of my followers could be in LA. Yeah. And we're in Toronto. Yeah. So I don't necessarily need to focus on, you know, I think it's important, but I think it's a piece of the puzzle, and I think you have to do everything well. You know, I always make the joke, you know, people ask me, they say, what do you have to do to be a successful DJ? And I'm like, you have to do one of three things. You have to sell tables, sell tickets, or bring girls. Yeah. And the good DJs will do all three at the same time.
Yeah, good point.
So it doesn't matter, maybe social media is your stick, maybe somewhere else they have a mailing list. Different, like I said, different people have different ways of doing things. At the end of the day, you just got to fill the club.
Yeah, makes sense, for sure. Yeah, and as I mentioned, you got people from all over flying in for this. So who are some of the people who have come in that you can mention, you know, that come in from wherever to see you? Because, you know, there's people from Miami here, Vegas. So, you know, I just saw, obviously, Jason, owner of Tao Group and all that. He's here. I saw Noah earlier on. Saw Michelle Pooch from Miami. Bumped into her at the check-in. Who else is coming to see you from
RJ from Studio Paris is here. Danny Solomon from 11's here. My boy Josh D from Temple and the Bay's here. Brad from Beta and Denver's here. It's all family.
So Irie from Miami.
Irie from Miami. I mean, most of the roster's here. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have fun.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to Ruckus when we were in
Mykonos. He's not on my roster, but he's coming.
But yeah, then that's the thing. That just goes to show how much love you got. You got the other talent.
Well, that's what I always say. I always tell people, I go, during business hours, I'll kick you in the back of your head, but once the go home bill rings, we're all friends.
Yeah, nice. All right, so we got to start thinking about next year's destination.
People are making fun of me. People are making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, you promote your birthday." They're like, "It's your birthday already?" It happens once a year, people.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
You good?
My man. Thank you again for the invite. Let's go up to the pool party. I need some mojitos.